Hi guys, this is Duncan from Dunkserve.com. Here I have the Optimus Maximus OLED keyboard by Art Lebedev Studio. This has 113 OLED keys all across. You have 48 by 48 pixels on each one, and you may be able to see on the video with the spacebar that you can see the actual screen behind it. These run at a minimum of 15 frames per second on each key, and the length of this is 21.1 inches, the width is 6.8, and the height is 1.5, so it's actually quite a big keyboard. Just to make some sort of comparison, it actually takes up the entire seat on my sofa, so it's not a particularly small keyboard. Now with the box, which I can't show you because it's a little bit beat up at the moment, inside the box you get a nice long USB cable. You can see it sort of stretches the span of the keyboard. It's gold plated as well, so it's one of those standard USBs here. I also have some sort of international adapter, which obviously I won't be using. Looks like an international plug of some sort. And also it gets its own power supply here, and it looks very similar to a laptop power supply. So you'd need to have an extra plug in your set of plugs to be able to actually use this. They also supplied me with some instruction manuals here, but I don't have one in English. However, you can download all the manuals online. So let's take a look at the keyboard. If I just show you the top of it, it's quite a heavy thing here. We have two USB 2.0 ports. If I try and get to focus, there we go. Two USB 2.0 ports. It has an SD card reader, and you can see Optimus Maximus keyboard there. We also have a Kensington lock for the keyboard, the USB connection, and we also have the power adapter here. So I'm just going to plug her in, and you'll be able to see what she looks like when she's turned on. Okay, so I've dimmed the light so you guys can see these OLEDs better, and I'm just going to turn them on, so to speak. The OLEDs firing up. They're 10.1 by 10.1 millimeters in their viewing area. I'll show you a little bit closer. You can see that they're quite bright, quite nice. We've got a little picture on the spacebar key. Now, all of these keys can actually be changed with the software provided, which I will show you in just a few seconds. If I press the Shift key, you can see it changes to capitals, and also you can see the number keys along the top. I press the Shift key on those, it changes them to those characters which would usually appear above the numbers on a normal keyboard. You also notice we have an @ key on the second one. Now I have a British layout of my keyboard obviously, and so I would need a quote here because the quote and the @ on the keyboard is swapped from US and English. So I would need to get that configurator software to then change the keyboard layout for me, as it doesn't auto detect it from Windows. So that may be one thing to note. And also, I'll show you on the left hand side, you get a bunch of extra keys here. Now these are all multimedia at the moment. We have play, stop, rewind, fast forward. You've got your volume control keys, you've got mute key, you've got search, you've got bookmarks, and you've got the home key. So this actually looks really nice from where I'm looking at it at the moment. So I'm going to change to a screencast now of the software provided, and then we'll revisit the keyboard so you guys can see what we've actually done to change it. So here I am with the Optimus Maximus configurator software, and I noticed I had to go to the internet to download this. I'm not sure if a CD would have been provided in the box or an SD card. It wasn't in mine, and I couldn't find anything that shows me the contents of the box. So if you didn't have internet access and you needed, like me, to change the layout to the United Kingdom, you wouldn't be able to do so until you get internet access. So as I said, it's changed it to United Kingdom layout. It's also changed the look of the keys a little bit, and I'm now going to work a little bit with layers. So you see we have new layer on the top, we have a new group, we can delete, paint, export, import, go to updates and view the properties. There's not much here with the properties. You can change the timeouts of things, and you can show the Maximus virtual drive. If I go to the layers and create a new one, I can rename it to, I'll just say Duncan's layer for the time being. Now on the bottom you can see we have conditions used inherited. I can click that plus button and I can do specific things. So for example, if the computer was locked, I could change the entire layout of all of these keys to be off. So if the screensaver was running or anything, just to save power or whichever, I can just have it completely blank. But I'm not going to do that for the time being. I'm just going to modify individual keys so you guys can see what's happening. So if I go to the escape key, and here we have under the keyboard properties, we have image. I can choose image, bubble wrap, clock, draw text, system monitor, where we have CPU, memory and network. I can have mail here, so Gmail if I want to see a new mail, and a video. So what I'm going to do is just use some of these here. So for the escape key, I'm going to draw some text, and I'm just going to say Duncan's Maximus. And you can see it's sort of done it in real time up here as well. And I'm going to choose the Q key, and I'm going to do system monitor of CPU usage. I'm going to do the W key, and I'm going to do free memory. I'm going to do the E key and do the network monitor. On the A key, I'm going to have the video, and you can see it's actually done some sort of sample video provided with the keyboard, and I'm going to loop that playback so you can see this all running on the keyboard. And I'll do the Z key, I'll have that as bubble wrap, as well as the X key, the C key. I will have, for one, I'm going to have the clock, just sort of group it all together so you guys can see it on the webcam. What else do we have here? I won't choose the mail because that'll take a while to set up, and I'll do some more videos. We'll see how it performs with multiple videos on the keyboard, and I'll put another clock here as well. So you can see also when you press a key, you can also change it to do something. So if you'd like something specific to happen when you press that key, it may be specifically useful for these keys over here, sort of the ones that were multimedia keys when I showed you. You can do specific things here if you wish, but I'm just going to use this little thing here so I can show you what's going on. And what I'm going to do is paint it. So it's asking me what am I going to use, so I'm going to use paint for this. And what it does is, as you can see here, it gives you a nice little layout of the keyboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some colours here, and I'm just going to brush over all of it. And I'm going to do blue here. May not look particularly brilliant, but we'll just see what it looks like on the keyboard. That's all we need to know, really, how it looks. You can obviously download some of these from the internet, so if you want to sort of have like a army style camouflage layout, you can do that. I believe they have some of them available. They do have a forum which shares some of this stuff, so it's pretty cool. So I'll just save that. You can see it's now sort of applied it. It looks a bit strange, but I'm going to have that as that. So that's pretty much it, and I assume that it's actually doing it now. It's actually turned itself off, so I'm just going to press the key to check that it's doing it now. And there we go, it has applied it actually straight away. So I'm just going to switch over to the keyboard so you guys can now see what is going on the keyboard. Okay, so here I am with the keyboard, and I showed you the layout and I sort of painted over it, and you can see that some of the keys aren't showing. It's mainly supposed to be used for like actually putting a proper layout in there with all the keys, but I was just sort of showing you that it's possible to just simply paint over them and do whatever. And if you're like me and a touch typist anyway, then you shouldn't have a problem, and it will be quite nice to have something like a camouflage layout. But hopefully, if I can get this to focus alright, you can see we have the CPU usage on the left hand side, we've got the memory, and we also have network. It's playing a little video underneath on this one, and I said that I was going to do more than one, but they've finished looping. Oops, there we go. They've finished looping on the top, so this is the end of it. If I press them, they'll actually play the video. You can see we have the clock on the left hand side and also on the right hand side, and on the bottom we have this cool little bubble wrap. So if I press it, you may not hear it, but it's actually doing the sound for it on the desktop, so it's pretty cool if you want to just sort of have a group and then just have them do whatever. So that pretty much covers it. If I was to speak though about the keyboard itself, it is very difficult to get used to. The keys are much bigger than I use. I use a laptop style keyboard, so for me it's quite difficult to get used to because it feels really big. I don't have a nice big enter key like I usually use because the keyboard's so big. It just doesn't feel right to type on, like because they're all shiny as well. It just doesn't feel a particularly very good keyboard to actually type on. So if you were to actually go for a proper keyboard that you really want to type on, I definitely wouldn't go for this one. As you know, it's a very expensive piece of equipment, and to me, I think it's a fantastic geek tool, and the fact that it's got so many OLED displays and that they're replaceable is really nice. To me, more than a keyboard, I think this is sort of a work of art more than anything, and sort of science. You know what I mean? It's more of a something you'd want to just have geek rights with, and yeah, bragging rights, anything like that. One thing I didn't show you, if I can quickly show you, is that little text there that says Duncan's Maximus, which I changed on the screencast as well. So that pretty much covers it. As I said, if you want to use this as an actual keyboard and you actually want to use this day to day, I think you'll find yourself getting very frustrated with it. However, if you want to use it as a geek tool and check it out and try and do loads of things, you may get bored with changing things after a while, as the options are a little bit limited, but it's a very nice geek tool to own, even if it is a little bit expensive. So that's about it really. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any thoughts on this, please let me know, and please comment, rate, subscribe if you like these videos, and thanks again.